to KwaZulu-Natal we go, where the Premier, or should I say the former Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, Sihle Zikalala, has now formed part of his successor's reconfigured Executive Council. Those developments coming through just a short while ago. Karinda Jagmohan was in attendance and joins me now for the latest. Karinda, good morning to you. I suspect you're going to say you could not have a word with Mr. Zikalala on the opportunity for him to return to the Executive Council, because the Premier, the new Premier, almost emphasizing that they need to be given space in order to acclimatize and perhaps get on with the job at hand. Or am I speaking ahead of myself? Did you get that chance to put a word or two to Sihle Zikalala?
Unfortunately, it's a chance that the media did not get. The new Premier, Nomusa Dube, ending her briefing without a question and answer session for the media. She essentially gave an update on the new Executive Council for the KZN legislature. I'll go through those appointments in a moment, but of course we know that Sihle Zikalala has been appointed to the portfolio of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs. It was interesting that even when he announced his resignation as the Premier to the media, he also left without a question and answer session. A very important session that is, because it is an opportunity for the media to hold these politicians essentially accountable for the work that they are doing, the positions that they are essentially going to be holding going forward in the sixth administration. But of course, there are new deployments in the legislature, very interesting ones at that. Of course, Siboniso Duma has been appointed as the MEC for Economic Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs. He is the chairperson of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal. His work now will be to uplift the province's economy in the wake of the tragedy of the last 3 years, the unrest, the April floods, COVID-19, that has really had major consequences on the KZN economy and, of course, South Africa's economy. Sihle Zikalala, like I mentioned, into the COCTA portfolio, and he is going to essentially be looking at working together with the province's 54 municipalities, also looking at transparency and accountability when it comes to the management of funds there. Nomagugu Similani Zulu still maintains the position of the Health MEC. And then going forward, Dr. Ntutuko Mahlaba has been appointed as the MEC for Public Works and Human Settlements. He was previously the Newcastle mayor. Remember, he was recently sworn into the ANC KZN executive as the treasurer there. And in 2016, or recently, had been charged with the 2016 murder of an ANC member, but those charges were withdrawn after the death of a key witness. The portfolio he is leading now, Public Works and Human Settlements, is extremely important because this looks into rebuilding those temporary residential units for flood victims which have not yet properly gotten underway. There are still dozens, or rather thousands, that are living in community shelters across the province following the deadly floods. As I just go on, of course, we see Peggy Nkonyeni now in the finance portfolio. This was a position previously held by Nomusa Dube. Of course, she's now the Premier. Peggy Nkonyeni was previously the MEC for Transport and Community Safety. That portfolio is now being headed by Sipho Shlomuka, who was in the position of COCTA, now being held by Sihle Zikalala. It's quite a puzzle and a runaround, but it is important for Sipho Shlomuka now, especially looking at the rising crime across the country, in our province as well. The recent tavern shooting, a number of murders and violence against women and children. It's an important portfolio for that one, also considering he's also in charge of uplifting roads in our province. Bongi Sithole Malloy remains as the Agriculture MEC, and then two new additions is Mbali Fraser. She's now the MEC for Education in KwaZulu-Natal following Kwazi Mshengu's resignation. He was popular in terms of his work in the education realm. Essentially, remember he had previously, or in his last month of office, essentially, he conducted the investigation into the Grosvenor Girls High School, where there were allegations of racism there. And then finally, Amanda Bani is now in the position of MEC of Sports, Recreation and Arts and Culture, that was previously held by Hlengiwe Mavimbela. So quite a big shift around in terms of the politics of the province, of the KZN legislature. Essentially, these are the members who will be accountable. They'll be the political face of these various departments that conduct a business and work and implement policies of those departments that will ultimately influence the lives of the people on the ground. We have not had an opportunity to ask them questions about their work going forward, but we do expect to have interactions with them over the next few months, because there has been quite some developments in the province in these various sectors, and so these are the men and women that are expected to be held accountable for these various departments.
Karinda Jagmohan, thank you very much. Giving us a quick rundown of all the portfolios announced by the Premier a short while ago.